Tonight on Out and About.
So it was great that the General Assembly said that 2023 is Year of the Trail.
This year's theme is full steam ahead, so we incorporate the arts in a lot of what we do.
While we have essentially knocked the dust off, if you will, we still wanted to retain the same feel and the same atmosphere.
That leads all children to feeling safe, gives them a place to create and be themselves.
Go Out and About.
So the best thing about Eno River State Park is you can get out in nature and you're so close to the city of Durham. Usually when people ask me what is there to do, what's the best thing to see at Eno River State Park, I typically will send them to the suspension bridge, which is the only footbridge that crosses the river in this section of Eno River, just because everybody wants to see that. So it was great that the General Assembly said that 2023 is Year of the Trail. So we just jumped on board with that as well. So that's our theme for the year across the entire state park system. I think it's important to educate our visitors and get them outside. So not only are you using our trail system, but also being stewards of our trails. I usually gauge on how experienced of a hiker they are, and if they've got tons of experience, I'll send them out on one of our longer, harder trails because they'll get away from people. If you've got kids, I try to take everything into account when folks ask me what's the best thing for me to do at Eno River. So we've got about 30 miles of trails that run through Eno River State Park and along Eno River all the way to Guest Road. And of course we connect with Mountains to Sea and City of Durham, Parks and Rec and everything like that too. A lot of our trails, pretty much all of them, will follow along the river at one point or time. We have a lot of loop trails, which is nice because you don't have to go out and come back the same way. The further you can get out and the more you can use your senses and be quiet, the more wildlife that you will see. When you're hiking along the river, you're going to see numerous great blue herons. You'll also see a lot of yellow-bellied sliders and other basking turtles. Tons of squirrels, of course. We do actually have chipmunks in the park, which surprised me when I first came to Eno River. So all of our trails are pet-friendly. We do ask that your pets are in control of the owner and on a leash at all times. That is one of our regulations. And then when it comes to kids, definitely bring them out. Kids love to kind of wade in the river and throw rocks in the river. Definitely ask us the mileage of the trail, as we will do our best to recommend a trail that will keep the child engaged and wear them out just enough so you can get back to the car. Most of our trails are labeled as moderate. Typically when you're walking along our river, it's going to be fairly flat. You might have a few little rock scrambles or things like that, but typically along the river it'll be flat. Any of our loop trails, when you're on the upland side, that's when it's going to get pretty hilly and you'll have some elevation change. We do have hike-in primitive camping, so everything is at least a mile hike-in, and that's pack everything in and then pack everything back out with you. And then we do have picnic tables and grills available, and of course we have 2 shelters that are available for rental. Definitely go to our website, ncparks.gov, and check out the Eno River page and do as much research as possible because we have about 6 different accesses along the river and numerous trails, of course. So all of our information, our trail information, descriptions, the length of the trail, the blaze color that's associated with that specific trail so that you don't get lost is all going to be on our webpage. And as well, we have park map boxes with all that information, paper maps you can take with you.
The mill is an updated version of its previous self. So we wanted to keep the name The Mill because it's on Edwards Mill. Edwards Mill Bar and Grill was a place that I frequented and have loved, and it has always appealed to a very wide demographic and socioeconomic groups and things like that. It was loved by kind of like all. And so we're just reinventing the wheel here, you know. We wanted to open the dining room because we felt like it was fairly underutilized in its previous incarnations. The patio we felt was underutilized. So we renovated the patio, we put a big garage door into the main dining room and let some light in. It was fairly dimly lit. We wanted to keep the layout of the facility the same. In many of our restaurants, the bar and the restaurant dining area are combined into one. The bar is there, but it's also part of the main dining room. Whereas this restaurant, it's completely separate. So this will be one of our new, again, 25 years later, it's a new experience for us. At this particular restaurant, part of the charm was that the restaurant was separate from the bar. You know, and so there was sort of the bar clientele, and then there was the dining clientele. And many times they didn't really cross over. From my personal experience, I don't think I ever went in the dining room. And yet I was in the bar many times at night. So particularly after a Canes game, you know, an event at PNC, this is where we would come all the time. And we have many friends who live in the immediate neighborhoods. So this was our meeting spot. A shiny place for shady people. You see behind me is that's a reference to the facility. This was always kind of this sort of dark and intimate bar, and the dining room was kind of the same. While we have essentially knocked the dust off, if you will, obviously to a much greater extent than that, everything has completely been gutted and brand new, but we still wanted to retain the same feel and the same atmosphere. And so yes, we're reinventing the wheel. We're doing newer food with a craft cocktail bar. Previously, you could come in and maybe you couldn't get some super crafty cocktail, but you could get natural light, and you'll still be able to do that. But now you can get that craft cocktail. You can also get you can spend a significant amount of money on a bottle of wine if you want to do. We'll have some great California-based wines, in addition to Oregon, but it'll be mainly
and we try to hit from so many angles. We are so excited to see April and spring in general here at the Science Center. April brings the North Carolina Science Festival, and we participate in a big way. We have events going on virtually every weekend, and there are over 400 across the state of North Carolina. We know that science is for everyone, and we try to hit from so many angles. This year's theme is full steam ahead, so we incorporate the arts in a lot of what we do. But April 15th is our big day. It's our science extravaganza, where we really pull out all the stops in all areas of science. So if you come to our star party on the 21st, you might do some galaxy spin art. If you come to Science Extravaganza on the 15th, you're going to see our animals and what we do for enrichment with them. It's a lot of painting fun. So it's a good exposure to incorporate those thoughtful arts into our creative sciences. Science is for all, and science means different things to different people. There are ways to incorporate the arts in really creative ways. There are ways to interact more fully with sciences that way. We'll be able to look in a scanning electron microscope and see really fine detail on bugs that you would never think of. It looks super artistic. You're also going to see all the new spring things we have. I'm standing right in front of our tree houses. We also have a sensory nature trail. We also have a solar system hike to take you out to Pluto and back again. So it's a great time to come and explore when the weather is fabulous. To find out about all of the Science Festival activities going on, and there are over 400 across the state, you just visit ncscifest.org. We're on there so you can look for the Greensboro Science Center and you can see what might be close to you as you come to Greensboro.
SkyWild is our animal-themed treetop adventure course at the Greensboro Science Center. It's for anybody who's coming to the Science Center ages 8 through 88. Guests can climb or crawl through our animal-themed obstacles, and they're getting a bird's eye view of the Greensboro Science Center from 15 to 45 feet up in the trees. My favorite part is helping guests get through some of their fears and tackling the courses that can be pretty challenging, and helping them conquer those issues and get past any hang-ups they're having. I think guests like the challenge of it, and the 7 zip lines that are on the course are very popular. In addition to the 7 zip lines we have at SkyWild, we also operate the Flyway zip line over at Country Park. It's much longer, 600 to 700 feet, goes across Lake Sloan, getting up to about 25 miles per hour as you're going across, and about 35 feet up in the air. Spring's a great time. It's not too hot, so the temperature's real nice to be climbing around. All the trees are coming into bloom. It's a really beautiful time for the Science Center, and it's a great time to visit SkyWild. So you can find information at greensboroscience.org or at skywild.org.
We're so excited to be back in person for the 2nd year in a row to have the Triangle Race for the Cure here at the Boxyard on Saturday, May 6th. It's going to be a great event where we honor breast cancer survivors and metastatic breast cancer thrivers. It's really an opportunity for us to come out and celebrate. We also remember those that we've lost, and ultimately the Race for the Cure is designed to raise money for the fight against breast cancer.
You don't have to search very far to have a loved one, a spouse, or a relative, a friend who has been diagnosed and has to go through that journey. My hope for the future is that nobody has to go through breast cancer and there would be a cure.
With this year's Race for the Cure, we have both a timed and an untimed option. Both events will take place at 9 a.m. And then for those who a 5K is a little too long, we have a 1-mile option. We invite everybody to come out Saturday, May 6th here at Boxyard RTP. The festival area opens at 7 with the opening ceremony at 8:30 and the race starting promptly at 9, followed by an after party, which is something we have brought back this year.
If you've been impacted, you have a friend, loved one, or relative, join us on May the 6th for the Race for the Cure.
To learn more or to register for the event, you can go to komen.org/Triangle Race.
One of the great things about living in the South is we can enjoy our outdoor spaces all year long. And that's why I'm talking with Charles Gamarikian from Cambridge Paving Stones. Charles, it's nice to talk with you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Charles, if you're someone like me and you want everything, how do you help us narrow down and focus on what to put in our outdoor space?
I have to answer a question. How do you want to entertain your family and friends year round? Do you enjoy grilling? Do you enjoy fire features? How about a pizza oven? Pergola pavilion, so you can certainly use the 4 seasons. Ask that question of yourself first.
Charles, of course, that can cost a lot of time and money. How do you help us with that?
What's wonderful about it, be sure you have that plan, what you want to have this look like when you're completed. Yes, you can do it all at once, or you can do it in phases. Textures will match, colors, shapes. You can start off with a patio, second year at a grill, next year a pizza oven, elevated patio, so you can do this over multiple years.
Charles, where can we get ideas?
Well, our website is wonderful. We have a gallery of thousands of photographs from consumers who've done their projects that will give you some inspiration, along with our brochure. Have something else on our website. It's called the Designscape Visualizer, where you're able to take a photograph of your backyard or your driveway or walkway, whatever you plan on using paving stones or wall stones for, and you can download it for free, and you can actually pick the shapes, the colors, put a fireplace in, move things around, so you get an idea what this thing is going to look like before you do any other research.
Finding a reputable dealer is important. How do we do that?
Reputable dealer, go on our website, put in your zip code. You're going to get an authorized Cambridge dealer who has his salespeople are expert in the product, its installation. They have wonderful displays, answer all your questions about shapes, colors, and talk to you intelligently about your product.
Charles, thank you so much. You can learn a whole lot more by visiting the website cambridgepavers.com and clicking on Where to Buy.
The 37th Annual Smithfield Ham Yam Festival, presented by Agri Supply and Stephen Sausage, will be Saturday, May 6th in downtown Smithfield. We're looking forward to welcoming everybody to Smithfield for a fun-filled day for the entire family. We'll have some great ham and yam foods, especially those country ham biscuits from the Smithfield Kiwanis Club. We'll have baked sweet potatoes, sweet potato ice cream, lots of different foods for the foodies. We'll have an inflatables area for kids, entertainment on 2 stages throughout the day. We have a lot of local talent as well as some regional and national touring acts, including All My Rowdy Friends, the Hank Williams Jr. Tribute Band. We're looking forward to seeing you at the Ham Yam Festival. You can find more information at hamandyam.com.
The best way I could describe Paint Paper Paste is a place that's all about learning about art. A place where children can come to express themselves, a place where we dive into all different forms of art, and our main priority is to get children and even adult artists to explore different types of art medium, to explore their creative self, to have a little creative outlet. I would say that we have a unique environment here at Paint Paper Paste, especially because we're both former classroom teachers. Something that's really important to us is we really think about our approach to teaching children and everything we offer on a whole child basis. So we're not just focused on the art project, the craft, the material, whatever. We're really trying to create an environment that is welcoming and inclusive for the whole child. So we think about their developmental needs, we think about the transitions, we think about the classroom management aspect of it, and that has led us to what we think is a pretty good formula because our environment is fairly calm, it's fairly controlled. Kids are still getting to be creative and freely express themselves, but within a controlled environment that leads all children to feeling safe and gives them a lot of place to create and be themselves.
And our feeling is if you come to an education space, you should come to be taught instruction. And so we work in project-based art where we have a project in mind, we go through the planning stages with kids and then into the inception and creation of their project. They always have choice in that project-based art, but the choice may be, I'm using these colors or this color, I'm creating this animal or that animal. So there are choices within the parameters of the project.
What we were doing today was a track out camp, which is very similar to like a summer camp, which means They come in here and we usually always try and have a theme, which is really great. So this week's theme was Creatures Great and Small. We've been doing art about animals the whole entire week. And I think having a theme like that really gets kids into whatever it is we're doing. It's not just whatever random art project of the day. There's something to kind of hone in and focus on.
We pretty much create from the time they get here to the time they leave. So we have small breaks in between. We do a little snack break. We have a little lunch break if they're here during a full day camp. And we also have some early finisher activities. So some students work quicker than others. They might have some more independent art activities that they can jump into when they finish their major project that they're working on.
You may see kids in their free time doing things like using building toys, doing things like coloring sheets. Sometimes we'll have directed drawing guides for them too, so they can practice following step-by-step drawing instruction. Sometimes we do things like perler beads or gem paintings or all kinds of different things, but we like to give them a chance to be a little bit more independent and also have a chance to choose what kind of thing they like to do.
And to know that they are the artist and they get to make the choices. It's one of our favorite sayings to say is that you're the artist, you get to choose. Because they're so used to having decisions made for them that they're sometimes tentative to make those decisions. So we'd like to have that, letting them know that you are capable of doing this and you can do it and we believe in you. And whatever you choose is going to be the right thing.
Come and check us out. You can communicate with us via email. That's our best method of communication. You can also find us on social media, on Instagram and Facebook. Just search up Paint Paper Paste. And our website is paintpaperpaste.com.